more chaos, less problems. So, here's where we're at. I got this base. It's got a lot of blood in it. It's basically got a blood crater. I'm going to pour more blood into it eventually tonight. I don't know if you could tell, but it sinks down quite a bit. So you got to do multiple pours. And so I did the first pour last night. I think I actually, I stuck my thumb in there a little bit to see if it was still wet, and it was. Anxious little kid inside came out, but regardless, I got to do another pour over that. Hey, what's up, Snowless? So we are trumping right along. I've got some barbed wiry wooden metal bits that I'm going to throw on the base. I've got a little bit of urban decay that I'm going to throw on there to sort of contextualize it. And good to see you. I've got more skulls, of course. Some of these guys are going in the drink. I might go crazy and do even more skulls, we'll see. They're sort of just like, most of them are kind of charred up looking sad skulls. And then I got to wash the base with something dark, probably something near black. Dry brush it a little bit. Do another pour. Some skulls. Let's see how that goes. But this, in theory, I might have to add a couple more splashes of blood. I might have to dump a little bit on the feet so that it looks a little bit more like he's sploshed in it. But I'll just mix that stuff up as needed. Got my diorama effects. This stuff plus airbrush corn red gives a pretty dope color. And it definitely holds in there. Alright. I know it's kind of tough to see, but that does reasonably look bloody. it's pretty gross. So I guess we'll get underway. I mean, most of what I did earlier today, just real quick, is pulled these out. These are, the exception of this one, these are all concrete pillars. So I just kind of corroded up the rebar sticking out of them. They look super flat gray right now because they're not washed. But we'll get down to it, find some space to add some stuff. Which is a little bit of a challenge. There's not a huge amount of space left on this base, but and it is a little precarious with them wiggling around on there. The other thing I need to do is green stuff that down. That is not on there all that well. Close enough. Thankfully, the blood glop is helping hold it in place a little bit. I'm just going to kind of eyeball what I can do around the front of this base. Kind of make it look like there's... And I could make it look like there's a barricade. These pass through, but I got a lot of these bits. I don't have to use them all in one place. I might use the ones that are metal in one spot, wood in the other. I don't know, just as a thought. But just to sprinkle some stuff around to make it look cooler. And these wooden post ones, you can see that's barbed wire, all that jazz. Oh, the thing actually stands up on its own. If I get a few of these together in certain sections, it'll definitely look like someone was trying to defend a position, and unfortunately this guy's about to bounce through it. Those actually look pretty good, just stood up around the edge. I think I will do that. So I'll keep... jumbled them back together, but I'll keep the metal ones and probably put them on the back side like he's just stomped over a different barricade. Like this city is they're trying to defend it block by block, and it's clearly not going so well. Obviously, because this thing is based on all that, I'm not going to be using any plastic glue. So we'll see how this goes. And I'm going to put these guys on there, kind of just in their current state. They're going to have to get washed like everything else that's concrete. I'll wash it dark and dry brush it light. Any auxiliary touch up I need to do, at least everything will be in the same context, color wise. take a look at this and see how it can sit flat, which angle would be best. You know what? Honestly, as a three-way spike, it's probably best. Yep, it is. I do like basing. I have a long way to go before I consider myself even mediocre at it. But I was never one of those people that dreaded it. But, was not super into it either. And then it finally got its hooks into me. And I'm glad. You stand up, you'll be leaned a little bit. So I'm going to actually have to hold on to you. I should probably find my... God, this place is such a mess. I should probably just clean tomorrow. Little dollop of glue on that guy. Flip them over. And all I did for the wood sections of these, after priming them, I hit them with some, I think it was skeleton bone. Didn't really dry brush them per se, but just sort of like dab them so that I wasn't getting in all the wood grain and crevices and stuff. And then hit it with Cygor Brown, which is pretty darn dark. And I sort of thinned it out a little bit with, what was it called? Snakebite leather, which is a little lighter. And then I went over them and just sort of dry brushed them with a little Gorthor Brown? I don't know. Boring brown. So it's a little lighter. And so they got some decent wood texture. Nothing crazy. Nothing too wild. And if I need to touch them up, I'd rather they were on the base so I could sort of see everything around them at the same time. All these guys, I think, were from Epic Basing. I think they were. Alright. Leave you guys to sit there for a minute. Chill. And then I'm sort of hoping somewhere, probably around this side, if you look at where he's facing, like he's basically going this direction. I could probably put a couple little chunks here, but there's not a ton of space. This space right here that he's stepping over is sort of like photo angle wise, not a bad spot to have. Some other detritus in there. So I'll probably put enough of these concrete foundational bits in to sort of allude to a fact that there's like a building he's stepping through. Ruins, if you will. I do think I probably need to make a lot more chunks. I don't know if I can actually show you, but there are like blocky chunks of stuff. It's basically this crap, corkwood. And yes, I do know I should get a roll of cork and just use that, but I have battlefield rocks from the army painter, and they weren't. Let's just get started. We got an extra bag of them too. So I'll roll some of these guys around in Astro Granite in a little cup. And I will use those likewise to just make debris. I don't know if it's because when I was a little kid I'd always, same reason, like mess with loose teeth. But I never seemed to leave anything glued down long enough. I learned patience. I think at this point I could probably scooch all the blood experimentation out of the way. I feel like this looks like, at least, I've learned what I need to learn. You can sort of see, got his... I'm actually really happy that it works out that this guy's actually on his front foot. Like, there's There's nothing underneath that foot at all, which makes him bobbly wiggly. But, I mean, he's posted in, so there's that. You know, I can actually lay a bunch of these metal ones of these in that crater and have them sort of coming out of the blood. That's not a bad deal. Maybe along the front edge. But these guys, you know, obviously I can just sort of put a few in. So if I lay these down in such a way that it looks like, oh, grab a lower one, put it under the foot. It looked like he's basically stepping through or been seen. Then at least things have context and nothing looks random. Probably hide that guy back there. You don't want to put everything super far from each other because then it starts looking just like deliberate. So you do have to find spaces that are reasonably flat. If I put these two pillars anywhere near each other, they've got to be kind of lined up, or they'll look weird. So maybe that works. And this guy a little bit like he's falling over. These were all pillars from the same doohickey. Stash that one. Yeah, now they look too straight. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Playing chess. And if I contextualize that guy there and put a few bits in the soup, bit out here, sort of go over here a little bit. I mean, part of what I also need to do is just break up the edge of the blood pond so it doesn't look quite so circular, which I can do. In fact, that's probably 50 times better than anything directly in it. Stuff hanging out of it. Not a bad call. But it is a crater, so it should really only have like shredded debris in it. So if I pull out the pieces that I'm gonna, well, I can just leave them there. You can just hang out. I can stand to, it's even flat, not really. And I can glue these down, but then I'll probably have to repeat astro granite around them. Isn't too bad. Just the astro granite below them is kind of jank. That'll be problematic. I think, therefore I think, just going to astro granite them in. I don't think I'm going to try to scooch up stuff around the sides. I think I'll just press it down, call it a day. While I've got this open, grab a paper cup. Only I would put ketchup in. I'll drop a little astro granite in this guy too. And we'll shake around some debris. Looking mostly for smaller bits now. Sort of scooch some of this stuff aside. That is good. That should be enough, but it's never enough, so always add a little extra. There we go. Bag up the rest of this. Yeah. Alrighty. Scooch that a little bit. Compensate for my lack of energy. I am swiftly, at least swiftly for me, reading The End and the Death Part 3. I'm not going to spoil a bunch of it, but I got to tell you, Horus and the Emperor getting a little bit of a fight. It's kind of where I'm at now. It's good stuff. A lot of various subplots, though. The books, really, there's 3 of them, really do sort of get around a lot. I'm going to say that they meander. Kind of meander. I am starting to wonder if I desperately want a different piece or 2 of this urban debris. That pipe, this low wall. You're out, buddy. This would just need a little bit of corrosion. I think it's a better piece. Kind of sounds like heresy. Yeah, I didn't understand it. I mean, it's like his first son that he found. It's so weird. Yeah, it's a little heretical. It sounds almost like a Horus heresy. I actually genuinely got surprised that the book came out. I was like super waiting for it. And then it came out and I was like, what? It's good though. I like it. Most people's complaints about The End and the Death 1, 2, and 3 is that they're like intentionally, I don't want to say bloated because I don't think they are, but like they cover a lot of storylines, and like if you don't necessarily care about those characters, you're like, whatever. And it's so many that I think it's probably hard for anyone to be like, I love all these characters. It's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's got something for a lot of people, which means, I don't know, the IP is so massive that I don't think there's anyone that can read it that doesn't go like, I don't care about this 60 pages. And those stories are broken up pretty broadly. So those 60 pages are sometimes in like 8-page chunks. You're like, man, if you don't care about your Freddy Keeler, I got bad news for you, buddy. Got bad news. Alright, so I can... This thing is just going to need some dry brushing over that typhus corrosion. So I can slap this guy in at will. I think he'll be like that. Alright. Maybe he fits over here. Does he? I don't think I gave myself enough breathing room to put him over here. Nah, he's going to go over there. He's leaning out. This is a little precarious, but I'm actually going to glue this stuff down just with astrogranite. If it comes off, I will have learned a valuable lesson. Just peek over here at this burgeoning pile of tools that I have refrained from cleaning up. See what I got to scoop schlop with. You know what? I'm just going to use half a coffee stir. This thing a thorough stirring. The texture of this stuff just is great as long as it's mixed up. But shaking it doesn't really do the job. need a ton of this crap. Do need some of it. I need a damp beater brush. Just sort of scooch around it a little bit. I don't even know if this thing will stick, but we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out together. It's definitely a little bit like cementing, like mortar. Yeah. Don't like it when my tweezers stick. Don't like that at all. Just let that stuff go. And this one underfoot, I'm having increased doubts about. And maybe it's better over here. Maybe it's better underfoot. Yeah, let's just stick it in there. Whatever. Just got awful noir pretty quickly. All right, I'm gonna try get a little bit of jet glue the edge of some of this just to support it a little more where the Astro Granite didn't exactly scooch out. Doesn't need to be a ton, just a little extra anchoring. And then if I need to brush some more Astro Granite in, I can. Alright. In that regard, we're pretty good. I can hide this over here. This guy is so precarious. Alright, now I gotta dump some Astro Granite. Get some of this old flaky Astro Granite out of here. I'm basically gonna dump some right into this cup. What I did before. I may add a little bit of water to it. A couple good slops of it. I may need more. All I gotta do is, yeah, it definitely needs some water. Slop this around a bit. And it'll basically turn these things into concrete blocks. Down even more. It's definitely going to need more Astro Granite. may have put too much in this cup. It's kind of being a pain to stir. It worked fine last night. There we go. Now they're at least all damp. Add a little bit more grit into the mix. Obviously, this cup is not really built to last. If I get them looking concretey, we're in good shape. And yes, I could use paint, but Astro Granite just has grit in it, which helps out a lot. A whole lot. Alright. These should be barely stuck. These should be kind of stuck. Yeah, my posts that I put in there early are kind of stuck, which is good. The first one I think needs a little bit more gluey support. And I think he's leaned up against... Yeah, that was SMRT smart. He's leaned up against a stone, so I can kind of just thread a little bit of glue back there, and he should stay leaned up against it, fused to it for quite some time. All right, what next, what next, what next? All right, stir this stuff around a little bit more. Oh yeah, it looks good and concretey. All right, I think I have a sip of tea and then I will tweezer in. More stonework. Dilemma. There, maybe. Let's try something. Let's try something dashing. Hopefully this works. Still a pretty terrible angle. But I'm hoping, at least, it's pretty bad. Show you a little bit more of it. I don't think there's going to be a good way to do that. Unless I lower this camera. Prone to getting seasick, I apologize, but I'm going to live mess with this camera. Better or worse. Hopes I can find a more mediocre angle for you guys. That was exciting. See my armpit. Alright, there you go. Alright, well, now at least you can kind of see a little bit of what's happening here. I could do that. Alright, maybe that's a little better. Who knows? We did it. There we go. All right, that's not as bad. There we go. So now you can see these bits that are in the blood. They are not. They're not glued in any way. Basically the point. A couple of these little bits I do need to glue down. The rest I'm going to rely on the resin stuff that I'm going to drop in there to hug it all together. But for now, let's place some more concrete bits. I can leave that like that. I don't know if there's enough glop on these to stick. You guys even stuck? You guys are stuck. Alright, so I think the plan is take a little dab of this stuff in high test form, place it down. I feel like I need to use a brush for this now. Alright. Thank you, Stir Stick. Dab a little in here. A little bit of elevation. I probably should have done this to place the other pieces in, but whatever. And now I can drop these guys in that glop and they'll stick. So I got to be careful and make sure that it's not totally empty underneath there, but I don't want like huge rubble. I don't want no trouble. More bits. Actually pierce it? Yeah, I accidentally stabbed that piece through. I can also use some of the smaller bits to sort of mask a little bit of the edging on the pieces I just put down. I'll do some additional similar work to sort of break up the edge of the crater. tweezers keep stabbing the actual rock bits, which are coarse, which is kind of funny to me. Stabbing through concrete accidentally. Anything crazy over here, but I want to make sure I basically just put in like pretty hefty rocks before. I'm gonna paint underneath that first. Just give you a little bit of love there, buddy. Slap a little granite on there. Good there. We'll just muddy that up. Rock created. Spot over here definitely needs a little bit of love. Just gonna trickle some down there. Of shrapnel. I think hit a little bit. Edge. All right, looking okay. That's going to get super glued down. Leave him aside for the moment. The last little spot I'm going to hit is under this foot back here. Just going to sort of check also edges of things where crater let off last time. It looks okay. Looks aight. Not fantastic, but aight. Stash that brush away to soak for a bit. This astro granite takes a while to loosen up. Spin this guy around again. Just trying to fill in a little bit more rubble back here. Trouble like Barney Rubble. Get some smaller bits out of here. Yeah, they're all hiding at the bottom. Little crispy bits. Pardon me. New camera, who dis? It's not actually a new camera. It's just the positioning is different so that I can possibly show anything that I'm doing. Because obviously with the camera straight down, can't see too much. This looks reasonably filled in. I am happy, I say as I grab another tiny little rock. But at least it looks like it's covered in debris now. It's a heck of a lot better than when it was just a gray mass with a red circle in it. Now, I'm going to set this cup aside. I may need more of those bits, and I watered down the astro granite in there. Just check how stuck some of my other stuff is. This guy's so wiggly. He's on there good, but he is wiggly. I need to glue this piece in. I'm basically going to cross up that little section there where the blood is running out. Just going to glue this guy in so he's like hanging over that edge. Hopefully there's a good spot that he fits. We're going to find out. I just wish I had one more arm. Never rolled well for chaos mutations. There you go. Yep, because there's a little divot there. This guy can sit right in it. There you go, buddy. Hopefully this glue does not react like crazy with the diorama stuff. I'll give this a couple minutes to sort of think about what it's done. It's like, it's in there good. He's posted in there, but he's always going to be a little bit wobbly. His back foot is up, which I like a lot. He's a runner. He likes to charge, jumping through this big old bucket of blood. All right, so clearly it looks super gray on the base right now. Has no texture to it whatsoever. I'm going to sit here and sip tea for a minute, give this stuff a little bit of a chance to dry up a little bit. I don't have to go crazy with it. But I just need to give it a few minutes to sort of wash a little bit. That's probably going to go closer to there. That might be on the edge a little bit, maybe not. So there will be a second round of me dumping the almighty red stuff in here. It loses a third to maybe half of its volume after you've poured it when it evaporates out. But it does do some nice stuff. I don't know how well the camera shows this. It's actually not bad. Right there, you can see that it clings up to the sides of stuff. So it's clinging up to the sides, I guess, of this guy's toes, which is kind of neat. I may have to pour a little bit more on his footies to fully sell that he's stomping into a crater that's full of blood. But corn, if you're out there, if you ever doubted my devotion, hopefully this guy proves it. I'm not really a corn guy, but I do love this model. And he's one of my 4 horsemen of chaos, so there's that. That's chainmail, that's chrome. Where did I put? Yeah. Alright, I've got some black wash. Get my tweezers out the way here. Five drops of that. Got some sepia. Yeah, sepia wash. A couple drops, few. No, I'll go 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I am going to thin this with some water, but I'm also going to throw some Lamian medium in there so it doesn't truly just turn into a water wash, because it'll behave differently or misbehave differently. They're kind of 50-50 Lamian and water. This is basically 1 to 1 to 1 to 1. Black, sepia. It looked like more than 5 drops. It's only because out of this pipette thing they come out a little bit smaller. It's back here. Grab an old beat up brush. Check on my other one that I used for Astro Granite. Oh, he's so sad. I know, buddy. Hang in there, sport. Dunk you in a little bit of isopropyl and let you... Oh my god, that brush is in such rough shape. I think that brush has been with me since the very start. So I'll find a tiny little corner of this guy and just hit him with this wash, see how dark it is. I may have to thin it a bit more. But when I test a wash on a base, if I've got some spot that's elevated, it tends to make sense to sort of test it out underneath. There's going to be shadow anyway, so if it's too dark, it's not too big a deal. Scooch this guy. Oh yeah, those guys are soft. Can I even do this step safely right now? I doubt it. So I may switch projects pretty soon, but what I will do while I'm here is I will make... I don't think I can wash this thing. I think that stuff needs to dry too much. I'll probably paint some other figs for a bit, but before I do that, I will glue in more skulls, and I will make the next dosage of the blood that needs to be poured in there and pour it in. Because if I gotta let stuff dry, I might as well just let this whole thing dry overnight. Like one does. So some of these skulls are going to be outside. That's cool. But most of them are going to be in the soup. Guy's got a good amount of char on him. Nice and roasty. A lot of times when you're placing skulls up against rocks, like there's a good look for them, but I tend to try to find the place where like the back of the skull and the jaw sort of can like notch into a block somewhere. Good little spot. Good job, buddy. Urban Unhappy Scape. I'll put one more on the outside. Maybe in there a little bit. Be good. Actually, right here is nice. A little corner. Drop a skull in. The rest, I'm going to sprinkle. Actually, this guy needs a little cleanup. Hey, what's up, Riptide? Got weird camera angle tonight that I'm coping with so that anyone can see anything that I'm possibly doing, because it's going good. It is going good. Just putting some skulls in. I was hoping to actually wash the whole base tonight, but I had to do too much wet work. So I'm going to build another cup of slop to throw in the almighty blood crater, but I've added more stuff to the base, which is fun. So things are going good. How are you doing? Now we'll just drop these boys in here. I love the fact that the skull's set. I don't know if you'll possibly be able to see that. That skull's all kinds of broke. Intentionally. Hopefully the slots that I put in here won't be so heavy that it just pushes everything around. Still chilling and painting, man. That is the life. I'll put those guys kind of near each other. Now, who knows where this stuff carries. But alright, round 2. And I may have poured too much of this stuff, but it's tough to tell. I have not done this enough to possibly estimate things well. But at least the paint is okay with the pond effects glop. I'll add a little bit more. Oh yeah, I made way more of this than I did last night. So applying it with one of these here droppers is probably the smart way to do it. Rather than just, I mean, last night it was fine to pour in. I didn't have any auxiliary stuff in there. Now I do. It will, yes it will, darken over time. Yeah. A little afraid some of those skulls are just going to get carried away, but it's all right. Part is a little precarious. Fill in the right way though with the dropper. A little bit easier. I'm gonna give this guy a gentle turn. You're probably gonna end up staring at his foot for a bit, but I've got to see some angles. Not gonna lie, this is a lot of fun. Like, if any part of you wanted to do like special effects for movies, I think would have been a really cool job. Well, it's about as close as I'm gonna get to it. Feels pretty good. So the main thing I'm trying to do is get the absolute lowest sections of it filled in. A little bit of stuff on the feet. that they have some context for all the splishy splashy. I'm being super careful around the skulls to start. They can actually just get straight up rolled around by all this soup. Now that I've got it mostly full, I'm just going to move around and just add more depth. And thankfully, by doing it this way and not just pouring it, I'll be a little more precise than I was last night. Be sloppier without being sloppy. Alright, that part's a little precarious. I'm not sure if I like it. But sort of mixing with stuff. Sticking my head in the camera. Let's go. Drop by drop. Spin this guy back a little bit, and then I'm going to scoot him a tad bit out the way. All right, I think I'm safe. Dump the rest of this stuff. And scooch this guy to a spot where he can just sit gently. Let all that blood just sort of fuse in nicely. Scooch you back here, buddy. Just sit and be nice back there. All right, on that note, scooch things around. What stuff do I still need to do on these guys? Browns on there, but I need darks. I think I got all their skin. We may be going back to Orktown. I think we are. All right. Excuse me for a moment while I redo my entire camera setup. On the fly. Tight. We're back. done this somewhat okay. It's unhappy, but I can survive. Hey, what's up? How's it going? I have now to clear my throat. It's gonna be really tough to see, and I just moved the camera back with good reason. Yeah, I'm dripping. I'm not gonna mess with that thing. There's a pool of blood on the bottom. There's a crater of it. So this base be swimming. So I gotta let it sit. So I'm gonna move back to some orc business for a bit. But my boy's definitely bloody. That is for sure. How you been, man? I hope work is letting up a little bit, treating you a little bit more kindly. I mean, not that we're saying it was bad, but it sounded like you were up to your eyeballs and stuff. There's a grot. Not anytime soon. Yeah, my job was pretty spicy this week. It's one of those weeks for me where I was like, on Wednesday, I was like, is it Friday? Can it be Friday? And I'm normally not like that at all. Let's see about scooching this back a little bit. This guy back a bit. Let's straighten this guy out. Money. We did it. Working on some LLM stuff. LLM. My brain's not plugged in right now. What is LLM? I hope it's like a Ligma Balls joke. Oh, AI. Yeah. AI stuff, good. Fun. Always goes as expected, I assume. Large language model. Whew, man, I have been out of the loop too long. Yeah, I'm sure that never gets boring. I did these guys in blue. Of course I picked the guy with no shirt on. Silly. Blue black. Alright, that was Drakenhoff Nightshade. Try something wily and different, but I don't think I want to. Pagos purple, I doubt it. Black. Demonette. Drinking violet. Yeesh. There's purple. No. 40 hours of printing total. How many pieces? Yeah, exactly. Pop this here. Hit the extra screen button. Yeah, you know what? Thanks for the ad, Loot Studios. Oh. Oh, Vankman. Yeesh. Dude, that is glorious, though. Holy crap. That is absolutely glorious. Oink. Wow. That's going to be something. Oh, well, your daughter's got good taste. Wow. Well, you know what's great is even with nothing to scale it against. Yeah. Even with nothing like visually, like there's no like quarter sitting in it or a nickel or whatever. Just by the grandeur of it, it looks pretty big just as is. All right, so that looks like it's going to be a heck of a project, and I think it's going to come out dope. But man, that is a big commit. Yeah, no doubt, no doubt, absolutely do. All right, I'm washing things, and so I need. Well, I'm not washing things. I'm contrasting things. It's a big difference. Oh, absolutely, dude. Absolutely. I still have that. I have a big dragon that I'm waiting to paint. It's not that nice, but like frankly, I needed a break from orcs, so I did a knight, and at some point I'll need a break from Warhammer, and I'll just sit back and just airbrush the daylights out of that dragon. It's good. It's good to like. It's like going for like a long drive. You know, getting in there and messing around with other stuff and doing cool things. Painted 20,000 points in 1 year. Yeah, no doubt. It's also like because it's not just thematically it's not Warhammer, but like also there's no points to think about with it at all. It's just like pure painting once you've got it together. Got to take care of number one, man. Got to take care of number one. Yeah. Um, looks pretty hefty. But it's like super cool project. Like it's big enough. It's one of the things that I like about Knights is that it's like it's big enough where the airbrush gods indeed. Um, but it's big enough where like you ain't gonna crank on it. Like it's gonna take some time. You gotta be a little patient with it. But you can just sort of you can also just settle in on it and just have a really good time with it. One of the things that I worry about though with like big stuff is like carrying over steps. Like they're so big. Like obviously like I'm painting these orcs right now, like in cycle. If I put this entire thing down right now, in theory I can kind of look at it tomorrow and be like, oh that's right, I was doing the shirts blue. That's what I was up to last time. Where like with huge wings and stuff. I mean, obviously you're airbrushing, so you get some pretty broad, not broad, but big strokes on it. But like if you get one wing done and the other's not, like how do you split that up? I mean, I suppose I've already dealt with that with Mortarion a little bit, but it's just kind of a catch process-wise. But I look forward to watching you progress through it. And I will steal plenty of your good stuff from it for when I do my dragon. I actually like this guy a lot because he's got the beanie. So true story, my first boss when I was working in video games. This guy ran the whole company. Super awesome dude, this guy Chris. Amazing artist, amazing designer. One of those people who you're just like, wow, this guy's got no gaps. He bought a boat, and I'm guessing his daughter was like probably 5 or 6 at the time. Asked his daughter, what color do you want me to paint the boat? Of course, she says pink. And he's like, so I got a pink boat. It wasn't a big boat. It wasn't like some crazy overcommit on it, but like, yeah, his boat's pink. But, I mean, the interesting thing is, though, if there's one thing I've learned just by observation, even if your kid picks some weird colors, you're going to find some creative way to do it. Like, I'm sorry, but if I ask my daughter what colors to paint something, like I haven't picked the model yet, she's gonna pick colors, and I'm gonna go buy a box of Thousand Suns, and it's gonna look great in those colors because that's what she's gonna pick. So like, I guess what I'm getting at is like, you've got enough sort of work in different areas where like crazy color schemes, you've kind of been there. So there's obviously some color schemes that like will just be a pain. Like if she says yellow, like I don't even know where I'd start. Yellow means I'm dead, yeah. But like if she's like, you know, pink, teal, and gold, you'd be like, psh, no problem, kid. Purple and blue will look great. Purple and or blue. I mean, I've got a ways to go to like actually practically understand it, but I've seen so many things painted so well in so many ways that like I know there is a way to get some pretty contrary things together, to get some pretty bright colors to come together. Seen it done enough times just by scrolling through so many people's little miniatures. Excuse me, clear my throat. That sounds super fun. I've painted a few things for my daughter, but they've all been little. Figures from her D&D campaign, like she plays D&D through the library, so every once in a while, like they'll get like a goodie bag of stuff after they finish like an arc of plot or whole campaign. So she had some pretty cool, like, I can't remember what they were called, Zonids, something like that, some sort of bug-like race thing. So it's kind of like painting Tyranids, and she was like super psyched about that. But yeah, it's weird how like the stakes are also kind of raised because like it's not your model, it's your kids, and like obviously as a parent you want your kids to like the crap you paint for them. Like as soon as your kid has some say in it, you're like, all right, let's do this. Oh, I haven't even painted this guy's arms. I totally forgot this guy's arms. Joker I am. All right, buddy, let's paint your arms. Already started. A rip of flesh. I'm sorry, pal. I should look at all your brethren. See if I skipped any of their poor bumming asses. I still got to remember that I need to base 2 cars still. Cars and, well, I don't have to worry about my Gorkanut just yet. Gut Rip of Flesh is absolutely amazing. It's also just like texture wise, it's kind of its own jam. Like it's not creamy, it's milky for like contrast, which obviously there's contrast medium in it, but like I pay a lot of attention to how different paints separate, and it's definitely got this like extra good stuff in the bottom. It's very good paint. I'm actually a little disappointed that it's funny, I painted his hand already and I just like left his arm undone. But I'm actually a little regretful I didn't know this paint when I was painting my Death Guard, because oh my gosh, as like a strong base for stuff. Whatever. You spelled it right. Bam. Bam. It's good stuff. Keyboards are hard, man. It's all good. I get you. It's really great paint, man. Like even just like scooching it around, It like hugs differently than a lot of other paints I've used. But yeah, this on Death Guard, oh my gosh, so many options. Alright, buddy, you can chill. What else? What else? I should get a coat of something on this bomb squig. Need something contrasty on him. Got Doomfire Magenta. Doomfire Magenta plus like Wazdaka Red might be the jam. I haven't used Garagak. You're very, very close. Garagak Sewer much, but I've used it in a couple spots, and it's very interesting. Like, for the sake of argument, let's put this guy in here so I don't forget I'm working on him next. Man, my brain is shot. Xenos leather? Yeah, so I picked it up specifically for like leather type stuff. But like, man, it is wild. Like it's got like a weird, yeah, it's so dirty. Like it's so dirty. The thing is on thick, it's like got a blackness to it, but then that's why I'm sort of almost dry brushing it on here. It sort of goes into like weird yellowish greenish. Like just the tiniest little bit. It's got like baby poop qualities to it. So that one. I also like snakebite leather because it sort of goes a little bit more reddish. I don't miss, yeah. Yeah, it's its own brand of good times. And then Sagor Brown is just like dark, chocolatey. Well, chocolaty's right, but it's like it doesn't give up any of that dark brown. So like these three as a trio, I mix and match with these a lot. Yeah, my kids are small, but my 3-year-old poops normally. My 1.5-year-old, their poops are at least a little bit under control. Yeah, it is. And it's super dark, but like even over black priming, it like tips things into brown. Like I've done a bunch of trees that were like black, just flat black prime, put that over it and then dry brushed them, and it's like good stuff. Just like I never in a million years thought I would be like grabbing 3 different paints that are to me essentially all brown and caring about the subtle difference between the 3 of these things. Like, never thought it was going to happen. Good times. All right, Doomfire Magenta with this squig. I'm going to lay it on pretty thick. And then for highlighting, he'll probably get like Wazdaka Red. I think I've got some other crazy red stuff. Yeah, Golfer back. Red is pretty interesting. This guy just, yeah, this stuff is just glowing. Potent stuff. This guy's going to stand out nicely. Apparently switching the timer on that bot actually worked. Little by little figuring out how this chat bot actually functions. Right over his little eye socket. Right close to his teeth. Get a cute little nose. Oh, I definitely screwed that up. Thankfully, everything I hit is going to get red or chrome over it, but I definitely kabooped that dynamite stick. Little place between the two straps I gotta hit. Dab of this stuff. I'm going with this magenta first, even though I am gonna end up tapping some areas that I'd really rather not have magenta on. I don't want to do it after the fact. Like, I'll take my licks now, do my cleanup, kind of rebase the leather straps and stuff like that, just so I don't have to touch this paint again, because it is volatile. Actually, I'm going to hit all these little spikes on his back too. Potent stuff. You know, I just bought Druchii Violet, and I don't think I've actually used it yet. She is. I will give that a shot. I think the last one I did got Carol Bird Crimson on it. But I didn't start it with whatever this dope one is. Doomfire Magenta. I think it started with something. Might have started just straight up red. I think I might have thinned out some like airbrush red with some medium on the first guy. Let me see if I can dig him up. At the ready. Oh yeah, I did him dark. First guy I did super dark, like ruddy complexion. This guy's gonna be much brighter. It's pretty cool looking. Like I've watched enough videos with it used where like still I'm coming out of my shell a bit, but I still like I find bright colored paints to be like abominations. I just want to paint in browns and greens. But every time I've seen it used in a video, I'm just like, oh, that looks so dope. Yeah, I think the other guy was all dark stuff. I think it was like a watered down red or mediumed down red, and then I think it was probably it might have been Berserker Bloodshade, which is a little reddier. This guy will be bright. There will almost certainly be a lot of Druki or Druki I. I think in Roman all the double I stuff is EI. Whatever weird linguistics moment, but when I do my fourth night, it's gonna have a lot of like fleshy purples into like violet kind of stuff. I'm excited for that. I am going to take 5 minutes and make tea because I am out of tea. Be right back. we've returned. Alrighty. More orcs, more orcs, more orcs. Sort of tempted to do more basing. Like shift gears 8 times tonight. Maybe I will. So I don't know if that's blue enough. I'll do a super basing session when it comes down to it with, whatchamacallit, my orc stuff. I'm gonna wait till the Morkonaut's done. Do the Morkonaut and the Gorkonaut together, and I've got like 2 or 3 vehicles still waiting. These guys will have lighter shirts than their counterparts. They'll be able to tell their squad a little bit apart. This little edge is going to be a pain in the butt. But I got it. Beanie cap, so good. I missed you boys. Alright, so I definitely still have leather work to do on a lot of these. That's for sure. Pretty much just put these boys down when the Gorkonaut showed up, if I remember correct. It was like, nope, I'm out. So these guys still need quite a bit of love. This guy's got nice cuffs on his pants, too. Stylish, buddy. Stylish. I think he's the only one with cuffs that go up over his boots. Some of this on his little roll pack that I just lightly dry brushed. This will give it a blue blanket look. Got a blankie. He's ready for special ops. There's still some chrome I gotta add to a few of these guys. Did a bit of it, not all of it. Back there. And obviously there's like leather work in there I gotta get. The buckles will be chrome. But these chrome commandos, all business. All business. That was poor form. Oop. Fixed. Much better. Much better. Get underneath here. Spruce that in a little bit. Got Underneath there, it's just a little section. These are working men. Working orcs. Alright, so this guy ain't got no shirt. It's just super dark blue pants. Commando pants. Itching to play this army. Scooch. There we go. Oh, it's the same head as the other guy. As the guy with 6 knives. I think. Yeah, it is. I posed him a little different. Guy's got a little bit more of a tilt over the other way. But yeah, one guy with 6 knives. Why not? He's a bad brother. Sort of thread the brush in there for those in-between spots. Quick spin around. Shades are done. Probably change the subject matter of this. Let's see if I can do that actually. Do. You actually change this midstream. Done. Alright, get his whole shirt, get his pants. Basically the highlighting will be different on the shirts and the pants. And I zenithal these guys, the shirts are naturally going to be lighter. And their highlighting will be more blue. Essentially gray. And then the pants are just basically supposed to be near black. Business orcs. Straight up business orcs. Well, I don't need to be sloppy. Hitting any point where I'm later going to add leather is no biggie. Obviously, where I've already done the leather, trying to screw that up, but I cannot stress enough how cool these commando models are. Just a ton of personality on them. And a dust bunny on them as well. They all just look very different. They all look very serious. Even the distraction grot looks like he means business. He's not here to party. He's here to complete the mission. Crotch. This guy's got an awesome belt buckle. There you go. Yeah, you're gonna need a bunch of leather work and chrome. Step by step. Refer back to my referential guy. It's good to get back to these dudes. I missed you guys. Doing so many bigger models, so many vehicles. There's something good about working on infantry. Big old grenade. Doesn't matter if I bump it. It's getting chromed later. Your armpit. Kneecaps. Crotch. Behind that grenade. Maybe hold stuff so people can see what you're doing. Struggle is real. Scooch this thing out the way. There we go. Scoot these guys back a little bit. Alright, as I look around, give them another little dab over here to darken it up. Not much, though. Not much. Six Knives McGee. I think you will always be the last guy I get rid of in this unit. I'll even let the boss go first. Just being careful, avoiding skin, avoiding leather. Still just a wash, so you just kind of gotta scooch it. Don't have to brush stroke it quite as much. Armpit's a little precarious, a little tough to see in there. Of course, by giving him 6 knives, I got plenty to paint around. You don't get a name like 6 Knives McGee. 5 knives. Again, just being really careful around. Spots with skin, spots with leather. More on this brush though. Boop. Spots with metal, don't care at all. Not one iota. I'm having an absolute blast reading The End and the Death Part 3. Really enjoying it and reading it more than I normally do. Normally, I just like go to sleep by reading, I don't know, something super short, like 20 or 30 pages of a book, so my eyes get heavy. I've found myself going into my evening routine to read a little more assertively and earlier. I actually just sort of hung out in bed this morning for a while. I was like, I want to make some progress in this thing. Crush a few more chapters. And it's absolutely like a fan service book. Some people don't like that term, but like, you got a lot of fans, you might as well hook them up a little bit. All the parts with Cypher. People that like Cypher a lot. And I was totally unfamiliar with him, so that was neat. Get a little intro to Cypher. Alright. A little more coverage here would be good. Maybe scooch the boys a little bit away from the actual pot. Not that it would hurt them that much to get dunked with Drakenhof Nightshade. Not really what I'm going for right now. Leather, metal, shirt. There we go, shirt. I'll get over that hammer with some chromey business later. You're welcome, buddy. I'm just glad I caught your stream. I can only stay for like a short little time, but I did get to catch you. My phone alerted me to your presence. You're quite welcome. There's some pretty cool tank bits you had on display. Yeah, it was fun stopping in. Then I had to go paint. Awesome. I think I might have been around for like just the beginning when you were talking about that. Was that what was up with like the actual like infantry beaked helm bits and stuff like that? I think I was just on the run. That was like right around, I think, 9 o'clock. My time, of course. Australia, heck yeah. Dude, this is such a good hobby of people just sending stuff from God knows where. That's awesome. What a community. Upgrade shoulder pads for termies. Ooh, nice. Yeah, the Land Raider I saw, like, I am very unfamiliar with Land Raiders, but it definitely looked pretty rad. I've never done the like heat stuff up to get it smushy again, but I mean that stuff was all resin, right? Yeah, all resin. So like doing a refit, not a refit, but like in the case where it had the, let's see where the camera is, the guns that were like this and it was a little bent. You basically just like how hot of hot water are we talking? We're talking like making tea water, dump them in there and just straighten them out. Because I definitely had a couple bits on my grot tanks that I probably should have squared up a little bit before I built with them. Yeah, it looked like the tea water but warmer. All right, but like, are we talking? You're not like talking boiling water. You're talking like ouch, ouch to sip water. Yeah, the bottom plate on that Land Raider, I think, was the one that I saw that was like the most warped. Ah, okay. All right, I can work with that. It helps you become one with the warp, so to speak. Yuck, 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 yuck. This guy's bag's gonna be. I can get his bedroll. That even is what this is. I can't even tell. So small. Bottom plate is warped bad. It's like 4 pieces I have to straighten out. Bottom weapons need straightening. Yep. Sweet. So for something big like a bottom plate, like, do you do that by hand or you grab like a couple slats of wood and just like? Like, do you need any physical guides to get like a long plate to flatten out? Ah, side piece for the guide. That makes sense. That makes good sense. It's got bloodier. I tried moving him around a little. I started with him tonight, but I got far enough into him uh, with wetting stuff down that I had to sort of set him aside. Like he's right here. He's right here. I'm not sure I want to scooch him at all. Yeah, he's pretty gnarly. I've basically been adding more stuff to the base. Let me see if I can scooch him a bit without this stuff running all over the place. Is he a little stuck to my mat now? Yeah, I spilled some blood. Oh yeah, it's still fluid. I really can't show him. But I added some more fiddly bits to the base. Some like city debris. Spice them up. And it's looking pretty good. I think I still have to wash a lot of the terrain stuff that I put down. But I think at that point, it'll be in pretty good shape. So hopefully I'm done with him like tomorrow night. We'll see. We'll see how close to DONE I am. I still feel like I might add a little bit of like a couple accents of either gold or black to the whole thing. Just a little bit, but I don't know. But yeah, he's coming along great. He feels very corny. Speaking of which, through the power of modern technology, I could just, and I will just take a quick photo because it'll last longer. I really can't move this guy around on the table, but yeah, let's see here. Very swiftly. I don't know if that picture's any good, but yeah, I added like some debris, some skulls in there on the ground. Another layer of blood. I got Garrow. Yeah, the one major character from the Flight of Eisenstein. I love that book, and Garrow's pretty awesome. Gonna have to straighten out all those warped base pieces. Just, yep. The rest of it's perfect. That's awesome. Yeah. Nathaniel Garrow's pretty dope. I like him a lot. Almost as much as I like Loken. I'm still a huge Loken guy. All right, what step to do next? I have one of these guys that I have to add something to his arms. He's the guy whose arms I forgot before. There he is. You were annoyed with what they did with the Sanguinius story? Do you mean how he went out? Or the reaction? We're going to get into, I guess, spoilers territory, but that's fine. And for penny and for pound. Do you mean like, what part? How he went out? I mean, admittedly, I don't have like too much attachment to him. No, I'm done with the end and the death part 2. That's all in 2. I'm reading 3 now. I meant for the casual viewer, but I don't. We can absolutely talk about it here. I'm not holding back. Yeah. Oh, you're talking about 3. How are you talking about 3? I mean, I'm watching his crew flip out. His buddies, his sons, being very flippant with how I'm regarding it. I apologize for that. Okay. I'm about a third of the way into 3. So if there's something else that's going to happen with him, I don't know about that. I'm pretty okay with being spoiled on things because I'm one of those readers who's like it's more how it happens, how it's written than knowing steps. But like I'm definitely through the part where like the Emperor shows up and is like, why? But I got more to go, I guess. More twists. Ah, yeah, I had a feeling that was going to happen. I am untainted by the original story. And this is all just stuff written by remembrancers, and it's 10,000 years old storytelling. Oh, that tea is hot. All right, that guy's skin is back in good shape. I suppose I could baseline paint. That brush is beat up. Could sign you away. Work on some. Grab a whole brush. Work some leather. Where is my dropper of bone? Now, I'm not wet paleting this because I'm really just dabbing this around a little bit thinned out. I'm just going to base coat some spots that are going to get leathered later. And I want to come up from light rather than go light from below. But the actual battle with Sanguinius I enjoyed a lot. It's just brutal. Dude gets worked. Dab in here. Catching things like the belts. And I'm not painting all the way to the edges of them. They're going to be dark. Just want to make sure a little bit of these like straps and things. With something light behind them. When the Cygor brown comes into play. Maybe Cygor. Might be one of the other two. We'll see. I am definitely having fun reading through. There's some plot lines that I'm just like, well, these are really my bag. But it's exposing me to more stuff that I didn't previously know much about. this wick for later. Yeah, I was at my height of book quote unquote reading. I used to take the train every day years ago. It was actually at a point where I could sell my car, which was fantastic. So I was just like riding the train. I was riding the train at Boston, which I gotta tell you, not the most efficient system in the world. So I was just like dunking on books, like reading through Game of Thrones, reading through all kinds of good stuff. Now I sort of have to, because I don't commute ever. Certainly don't commute by train. I thoroughly have to, with much intent, make time for reading. Which I gotta tell you, for a couple years I didn't. Like, I felt bad for it. Felt like I was getting dumb. But like, a lot of what I was reading on the train was just like a very eclectic mix of stuff. And like, some of it was read, some of it I just had to, I basically could physically read on the way in and had to audiobook on the way out. I was far enough outside of the center of the city that when I picked up the train in the morning, I was with very few people. But when I picked up the train to go back out at night, it was jam packed. So you just put your earbuds in and zone. But I'm at least at the point where like Dorn is doing stuff. And I kind of like Dorn. I don't love the guy, but like that dude in book 2 is just strictly vibing. It's the best way I could put it. Dude, all he gets to do is chill out, watch things happen. Buckle leather. I don't think I really got this stuff. I'm going to do another pass on it. Came out a little oppressively dark. Take another swing at it. Get a little bit lighter. That's okay. That's okay. That's not so okay. Yeah, I haven't been a road guy for a while now, for a heck of a long time. Like, I haven't, it's really weird to reflect on. I haven't been a train guy in, practically speaking, a decade. And I haven't been a car commuter for 4 years, give or take. Like, I rarely fill up a tank of gas at this point. Rarely. Rarely, if ever. Oh, I guess I am in on that one. There we go. Little bits of cleanup to do on some of this leather. A couple little spots that got hit when I was going over with that Drakenhof Nightshade little bits. All this light stuff will get darkened up in a bit, but I got some cleanup to do. Alrighty. His leather strapping looks to be strapping. Yep, belts and pouches. Go. Just a little dip. There we go. There's a little strap. Did I get you right? I did get you right. Right to the buckle. Spin him around. Make sure he's okay. He looks fine. Got some rope. We'll lighten that up, then we'll darken it back up later. It was a little bit different color on the leather strap that's got it held. Don't hit his skin. Don't do it. There we go. Get that. Just thread in there a little bit. And then I got his belt. His belt. Am I going to get in there? That's about as good as that's going to get. There we go. This dude's got all kinds of stuff I gotta hit. He's got these leather bags up front. Those will all be darkened later, but man, we are not starting from black. I can tell you that much. Belt. All important belt. He's got a bunch of like straps across him. This guy's got mad gear on him. Leather straps around dynamite. Love how much dynamite these guys carry. Ready for anything. Including accidentally getting a bunch of light paint on his trunks. Better. Better. Much better. This guy's got a butt strap. I'm wearing a full harness. What a nice guy. That guy's ready for war. All right, got all that, got all that. As close as I'm going to get to his dope belt buckle. Everything else looks solid. This is leather bracer, which I did hit before, but I'm going to get again. Get that symbol to pop up a little bit better. All right, last man for this pass. This is mostly just cleanup. A little darker than I'd like it to be. I gotta be a little careful because some of these spots I just haven't hit a dry brush on yet. Some of them are just definitely too dark to even start with. I'm trying to remember, like, this thing's gonna get, leather's gonna get several passes on it. Like this first undercoat of lighter stuff. Hey, what's up, Zanori Mori? First pass of lighter stuff doesn't have to be like genuinely perfect. Mainly just to make sure that I'm not starting from black. That looks pretty good. It's got a good thorough cleaning. And I can also hit all of the strapping. On the little guys. These guys got leather straps on them too. Finally, learning the value of having my pinky finger mounted on something while I paint. I can't believe how long it's been that I've been painting that I didn't realize how important that was. They're some of the most fun to paint. Knights, man, like, as far as letting your inner child out, big stompy robot, tough to beat, tough to beat. a heck of a lot of fun. And they allow you to do like a lot of different, not techniques per se, but like they're big enough. They've got enough different visual things going on. I'm not going to say it's like painting several models, but it kind of is. It's all strapped up. There we go. Now I got to get under this little thread here, but that shouldn't be too big of a problem, I hope. There we go. All right, buddy, you sitting on any more straps? There's a little bit in there I can get. Wiggle, wiggle. Oh, that strap is wider than I thought. That's why. All right, I will get some of this. See, that's all gonna be chromed up. Who am I kidding? I'll get the straps on here, but everything else is gonna be mad chromy. This little piece of string. Strap, strap, strap. Nice and gentle. Nice and gentle. There we go. Boots are going to stay black. Oh, did I freeze up? I didn't. All right. Did my music stop? I might have hit the cease and desist moment. Nope, it just got quiet. Ha! All right. Anything else? Your boots are going to stay dark. That didn't glue well together at all. That's unfortunate. Yeah, I thought I froze up for a second, but I didn't. There's a weird window thing happening. Actually, his whole backpack's going to be brown. I should start it lighter then. Start it kind of lightest on these seams here. Dabble a little bit around here. I want the edges to be kind of dark. There we go. Just get under his arm a little bit. This guy's so tiny. So tiny you are, little grot. That's about as much risk as I need to engage in. All right, clean this guy up. This brush does not want to get clean. Some sins you just can't wash away. All right, I think I have hit the wall of tiredness. It's been a heck of a week. I'm going to sign off. This night needs an overnight to dry before I can move on and start applying washes to its base. Just sort of filling in with a little bit of extra orc work this evening, but I'm plumb tuckered out. It's been a good day, though. Got a lot done. Still trucking. There may still be one. I gotta see how the blood in this crater shrinks up in the next dry. There may be one last pour that needs to go in there, but tomorrow I should be able to do a wash of everything on the base, get it to dry pretty quick, dry brush stuff, make it look more like concrete and less like gray paint. Anyhow, thanks a ton. Have an awesome night. Thanks for all the support, and we'll see you again sometime soon.